I'm just, like, I'm not even mad about it. I'm just sad. I'm just really, really sad. Because the Death Slinger's cool, guys. He's actually really, really cool. I'm just really, really sad. Hold on, fighting with Survivor remains about insta-heal again. Okay, anyway. So, the PTB was just launched yesterday, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend I've played it, because I can't do that, obviously. I'm on PlayStation. I don't have access to it. It's a PC-only type of thing. That being said, I've studied the killer extensively just by watching others play the game. And I've come up to a conclusion that he's really bad. I know, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that they made the killer horrible. But... So, you know, let's go over why. So, the new killer is the Death Slinger, right? Okay, so here, what does this guy do? This guy has a gun, and he walks up to survivors at 110% movement speed, and he shoots them, reels them in, hits them, applies the deep wound, okay? First of all, the whole concept of shooting a hook out and reeling the survivors in actually isn't original. So, I don't want anybody patting behavior on the back for the originality of this killer. Identity V's Gamekeeper plays pretty much the same way. And guess where he is on the tier list? He's the worst killer in the game! At least to my knowledge. I don't know, maybe the meta shifted. But yeah, he's literally the worst killer in the game. So already, the only frame of comparison we have for a killer that does this is Gamekeeper. So that's already not a good start. So we are using a bad character's gimmick. Alright, fantastic. Not only is it a bad character's gimmick, but Behavior thought this was going to be so powerful that we gave him 110 movement speed. Game designers at Behavior Interactive, let me tell you something. You want to know the fucking truth about Dead by Daylight? No killer is strong enough to warrant anything but 115 right now. Yeah, yes, I said no killer is strong enough to warrant 115% to 110 or anything below 115. Every killer in this game deserves 115% movement speed. Absolutely. Absolutely. The only two arguments you have are for Nurse and Spirit. Only two arguments. Don't give me this Huntress shit. Don't give me this Hag shit. Hag and Huntress could both be at 115. If you don't believe me, just run play with your food and see how much it affects the gameplay. It doesn't. So already, we have a character that's 110 movement speed. Okay? So, what's the problem with this asshole? Okay, well, unlike Gamekeeper, this is a problem he has that Gamekeeper doesn't. He shoots out a hook and impales you, then he has to actually reel you in, whereas Gamekeeper automatically pulls you. Okay? Now, if this is, like, done with nothing in the way, it's okay. But the problem is, if that chain is touching literally anything, that fucking struggle meter shoots off to the speed of sound. And then they get to break out, and then you get stunned for like 5 seconds. And they get a speed boost when they break out. That's nonsense. That is already nonsense. We do not need a position to where every loop is going to get crushed. Every loop is going to crush this power, even the smaller ones. I've only seen this power work at like 2 of the most basic loops in the game. And even then, it was barely. Even then, it was barely. So this guy already needs a major quality of life buff, and he's not even in the game yet. What they need to do to him is they need to give him 115% movement speed. He's not that special. When you give a killer 110% movement speed, you have to ask, are they as good as Huntress? I think she's the standard. Is their power as good as Huntress's? Absolutely fucking not. This guy's not as good as Huntress. This guy can hit shots with his gun and then not get rewarded for it. It just, depending on what's in front of him, he could just not get rewarded for it. While as Huntress could fucking, would down anybody. Would down anybody. That she actually hits. Huntress gets a 100% reward ratio when she hits somebody. This guy gets maybe 50 at best. And, like, the fact that you're sitting there shooting survivors, reeling them in, okay, we're reeling them in like as slow as a fucking snail, we're reeling them in, and then we hit them, And then guess what happens? Wow, you got your first hit. Bong, bong, bong. 3 gens just flew on you, asshole. Because this is a neat killer. I actually really like this guy. The problem is 110% movement speed. Like, same shit, different killer. 110% movement speed. The gen. Well, when you get your first down, there's 2 gens done already. Same shit, different character, guys. Like, he has no gen pressure. He's no map presence. How many times do we say that about these new killers? Like, literally, he's very standard. He has cloud weaknesses. One-dimensional power with no gen pressure. That's a cloud weakness, ladies and gentlemen. And like, even like Legion has more map presence, because Legion can at least do Feral Frenzy and move a little faster. And Legion's first hits are like easier. The meta on this guy already is run save the best for last on him, and then try to hit him, try to get the hit after the gun, after you hit the basic attack, which means you can't even take advantage of the deep wound mechanic. Not that that's gonna be doing much for you anyway. Deep wounds aren't very good in general. So this guy has problems. It's very much a shame that he has as many problems as he does, because he's actually really neat. So if we're gonna buff this guy, what do? We have to make the fucking reel in faster. We just gotta. Like, we don't have time to sit there, dick around, reeling survivors in like a little fish. We don't have time to fucking do that. You put killers in a position now where 3 gens fly after 2 minutes, okay? Because you decided that you had to nerf Hex Ruin. Hex Ruin would be fantastic on this guy, by the way. He really needs something in that early game to slow down the generators. Because once he gets going, he's actually really neat. I've seen him win, too. Like, when he gets going, he's actually a really neat character. But the problem is with this motherfucker that the gens fly on him too fast. He cannot accurately secure the win condition. And you know what? That's no knock against him. That's no knock against him. Do you know how strong a killer has to be to actually manage the win condition of this game? Like, ridiculous. Like, what the question of the Death Slinger, like, all the survivors, I've seen like half the survivors in the chat going, oh, he feels weak, he feels weak, he feels weak, they say. Well, you know what? They might be right. I think they actually are right. I think he's actually pretty weak. I think he could use some buffs. But not every reason he feels weak is specific to him. There are several things on the survivor side that are just too strong. So it's like, how much can you actually knock the Death Slinger for not being able to cover the generators? Half the killers in this game have that issue. No map presence? Like, what's the pig's map presence? Oh, she can fucking sneak up on you and might be able to at 90% movement speed and then maybe fucking ambush you. Yeah, right. Map presence. Yeah, you can see why I don't think much of her. Like, half the killers in this game have his problems. Like, it's literally same shit, different character. The problems that are specific to him are that his 110 movement speed and the fact that his gun doesn't really do anything half the time. Those are the problems specific to him. Buff the movement speed, buff the reeling, try it again. But I'm telling you guys, like, even I watched True's stream. True's even saying that the generators gotta go. Like, it's the gen speeds. The gen speeds fly way too fast. The killer can't actually play because half the time he's in. Well, I mean, the killer starts the game in disadvantage, which I'm okay with that. But like, there's no hope of getting it back. There's absolutely no hope of getting it back. Zero. And this guy is just discount Huntress. There's literally no reason to play this guy over Huntress. Zero. He's got the same movement speed. The only thing that he has 2 things over Huntress. If he shoots you when you're trying to unhook somebody, you just can't do the unhook for like another 2 seconds. And then, so he can delay the rescue a little bit longer. So maybe that could be the difference between somebody hitting stage 1 and stage 2 and then dying. The other thing he has over Huntress is his shot is quicker. But that's it. That's all he has over Huntress. Huntress, he doesn't get rewarded for every shot he takes. He has to reload literally every shot. I would like to see him have 2 bullets, so he doesn't have to reload as much. That would help him. Yeah, maybe make his reload animation slightly longer to compensate, but give him 2 bullets. There's another buff you could do for him. So, like, maybe if you reel the guy in, like a fish, and then they break out, they're kind of right there. Wish Enduring affected the stun. So you could, like, not be stunned as long. That'd be nice. There's so many things. I say this about every killer, too. There's so many things you could do with them that would help them out. But you know what? It's just desserts, though, guys. Every survivor said he feels weak. That means behavior. That means he's exactly where they want him. Exactly. I bet he goes in the game like this. Every survivor says he feels weak as fuck. That's what behavior wants. They want weak killers. They're happy this guy's weak as fuck. They're gonna throw him in the game and just let him get mauled and let him see 0 play. That's what they're gonna do. Which is a shame because this guy's really fucking cool. This is like actually like you got me invested in a Western themed thing. I don't like Westerns at all. The only Western thing I've ever enjoyed in my entire life is Red Dead Redemption. And this thing has Red Dead Redemption-esque vibes. And, like, I really like this guy. He has that, like, certain appeal he has a certain coolness factor that just can't be denied. When he's moving, his design, when you're playing him in the game, he looks cool. This is the coolest killer they've released in a very long time. That's not, at least not licensed. I don't remember their last licensed character. Demo and Ghostface. Like, this is one of their coolest non-licensed characters ever. Like you see the Legion. The difference between this guy and Legion is that, like, Legion's, like, looks like they're trying to be cool, and they're just, like, failing at it. They're just edgelords. Of course, I think Death Slinger's edgy, but I think that Death Slinger has, like, a certain actual coolness appeal to him, that he's actually cool, where it's like, it's not like Legion where they're just trying too hard. Do you guys know that Susie took a sweatshirt out of the Lost and Found that wasn't hers? That's crazy, right? She should go to jail. But, yeah, so it's a shame that they're letting this guy die in the PTB right now. We've already went over his buffs. True Talent has laughed at this character multiple times, which is not a good sign. Like True's so polite, though, dude. True is so polite. Whenever True goes, I don't know, guys, I don't know, he's just being polite. He knows the character's bad, just like I know the character's bad. I'm not going to be polite with you. The character is bad. And the character is bad for two main reasons. His chain, the time it takes to struggle when there's an object in the way is not long enough. That should not reduce it as much. And then it shouldn't reduce it at all, really. If you get whacked at a pallet for 110 movement speed, you sacrifice 5% movement speed for a fucking, like, power that only works at, like, really, really tiny loops. Yeah, that's not worth it. That's not worth it at all. Like, right now, that should be infinitely longer to make up for the fact that if you get hit at a loop, you can get wrapped around and then whacked. It's good at Windows, but that's about it. And again, so is Huntress. So it's like, he doesn't have that over Huntress. It's just something he has in common with her. There's no reason to play this guy over Huntress. Absolutely zero. That you don't get a movement speed buff for a weaker projectile. Like, there's no trade-off. Like, he is the Leatherface to Billy. Like, you know, in the Bubba Billy, in the Bubba Billy, he's the Bubba to Huntress. He's the Bubba to Huntress. So, like, there's no reason, like, this guy, like, I'm thinking about all these characters in the game. He's not better than the Plague, people. Not, especially after Plague's Apple buff. No way is he better than the Plague. Vile Purge is way more consistent. So, yeah, he's bad because his gun needs a buff, and then he's bad because, for another reason that's not really his fault, that's the gens fly too fast in this game. And like, this hurts him a lot more. He's got clown issues. Okay? So, yeah, this guy is not very good. This guy isn't very good. So, all that criticism being said, I'm sure he'll end up in the game exactly as he is. Because the fact he's too weak, that means he's exactly where behavior wants him. So, let's fucking stop bitching about him and let's go move on. Let's pull up his perks. Okay. Let's go over the perks, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see how riveting and intelligently designed all of these perks are. We'll start with his before we move on to Zarina's, because I got a lot to say about Zarina's. Gearhead. This perk will allow a killer to detect the location of a previously hit survivor when they complete a skill check while repairing a generator. But you have to, like... It will, like... But you have to, like, you know, hit... I think it's, like, 2 basic attacks that you have to actually hit before that perk goes off. I mean... It's good. Like, this is obviously, like, a tie into Thrilling Tremors. You'll obviously want one of those two if you decide to run a perk like this. I don't see how these perks are better than Discordance. Discordance is better because it doesn't have an activation condition. A perk like this shouldn't get an activation condition. It should just, like, be... Once you hit a survivor, it links them. None of this 2 basic attacks crap. You need to speed that perk up. Discordance, whenever 2 survivors are on a generator, it just goes off. It just goes off. I don't see why you would... you might run over surveillance, maybe. I'm just trying to think about stuff you could do with it, with Gearhead. I just, like... The thing about Discordance is Discordance helps you make smart decisions. Discordance lets you know when there is major pressure on you. And this perk doesn't do that. So... I don't see that... I think it's a standout perk. I think it's his perk with the most potential, but I don't see how it's gonna do much, honestly. Dead Man Switch. By hooking the obsession, the perk will block any generator for survivors not actively repair. That's gonna be useless. Don't even worry about that one. That one's gonna be useless. I don't even want to comment on that one. There's nothing to really say about it. If the survivor stops repairing a generator, why does behavior think that's good? They all, like, if the survivor stops repairing the generator, they'll get some kind of penalty. Yeah! We're game designers. We're game designers. We're Behavior Interactive. We're game designers. We're so cool, guys. We're game designers. If the survivor stops repairing a generator, what the fuck reason do they have to stop repairing a generator? You clowns? When the killer's chasing somebody, like, why would the survivor ever stop repairing the generator? The only time they're gonna stop repairing the generator is when it dings on your ass. And it's done. Fucking Christ, dude. An activation condition for an already bad perk. Like, useless. Like, that could say hit the obsession once and it would still be bad. Especially since this clown runs save the best for last. Like, why would you ever consider running Dead Man Switch on him? Terrible. Terrible game design. So the first perk is incredibly average, the second perk is useless. What's the third one? Hex Retribution. Survivors who cleanse a dull totem will suffer the oblivious status effect for around, like, what, 40 to 45 seconds? And then when somebody cleanses a hex totem, the aura of all survivors will be revealed to the killer for, like, what, 10 seconds? So the obvious idea here is that you pair it with Haunted Ground, pray they get Hex Retribution, and then... No, pray they get Haunted Ground first. And then this will go off. But it's like, okay, here's the thing. This combo isn't really hidden. This combo isn't really hidden, okay? First of all, if you are running this combo, if you're running Hex Retribution with Haunted Ground, that saves literally... Like, survivors will just... The survivors that are good will be smart with their totems, I would think. Or are they that stupid? If somebody's running Hex Retribution, they cleanse a dull totem, they become oblivious. They go, oh, Retribution. Well, the only thing that's viable with Retribution is Haunted Ground. Let's just not touch a Hex totem the rest of the game. Is what they could say. But that could, but you still have to get the dull ones. So, like, literally, they'll just cleanse your dull totems, and then hopefully... So, like, you could be sneaky and then run Devour Hope, but any coordinated SWF will realize that the totem numbers don't add up and then just nab the perks anyway. So it's like, this is going to be a gimmick. And also, when you run at Hex Retribution with Haunting Ground, well, guess what happens? You sacrifice half your fucking perk slots, and then guess what happens? You don't have enough slowdown. So, like, you might be able to do Retribution, Haunted Ground, Dying Light, and Thanatophobia. Maybe. That might be your best fucking bet. You can't even do no-ed with that. You'd have to run Bloodborne if you want to do an 8 thing. Because, like, you're banking on survivors not cleansing 2 dull totems. Good luck with that. Especially with all the inner strengths running around. Yeah, good luck with that. So, the third perk's a gimmick. The first perk is average. And the second perk is bad. Yeah, great. Great. So, once again, Killer's got nothing. Alright, let's see what Serena gets. Let's see what Serena gets! Off the record, for a limited time after being unhooked, the user's aura will remain hidden from the killer and their grunts of pain will be silenced. Okay, that sounds like a familiar for a fact I don't give a shit about. So, it's just another anti-tunneling perk. It's basically babysitter. But you still see scratch marks. Whatever. It's just lucky break, but after being unhooked. Yeah, if you're getting face camped, you're not breaking line of sight anyway, so this isn't gonna help you. Just run borrowed time. That sounds like a familiar effect I could give two fucking shits about. So that perk is bad. Okay, great. So like what? 3 of the 4 perks have been horrible, and then like 1. So like half the perks have been unquestionably horrible, and the other 2 being gimmicks at best. Okay, what's next? Red herring! By repairing a generator for like 30 seconds, I think it is, the survivor can mark it as a decoy and then it can be activated by, I think it's touching another generator or entering a locker. That's gonna be annoying. I think it's gonna be like head on. I think it's gonna be bad, but it's gonna be annoying. It's gonna like, you'll see it, especially at the beginning you'll see it, and then it'll go away, and it'll be a gimmick. I think if you get a skill check and go over to a generator, and plus this is completely countered by whispers. Completely countered by whispers. Like if you're going over towards a generator that just like beeped and then there's whispers going off, a killer's gonna know you have this. So whispers completely shits on it, and a lot of killers run that for their main tracking perk. It would counter discordant setups though if you use discordance over whispers. Big whoop though. Chances are, if the discordance is going off and you make red herring go off, they're not going to give a shit anyway. So there's even potential. So I think Survivor's going to try it because I think they think it sounds busted. But since Survivors don't know about playing killer, they don't know what Whispers does. So it's just going to be a gimmick at best. Gimmick at best. So like, okay, so like the best thing about these new perks are gimmick at best. Okay, so what's the last perk? For the people. Oh, this perk allows the user to instantly heal another survivor! We brought instant heal back! Brilliant! Absolutely brilliant job, behavior! We brought instant heal back! Why in God's name did we ever think this was a good idea? We brought instant heal back, guys! Yay! I've already been fighting with survivors tremendously about this stupid perk. All the survivors who would fix the broken status effect on me. That's not going to be good. How is this going to be good? This isn't going to be good because it gives me the broken status effect. Motherfucker, this could give you the broken status effect for the rest of the game and it would still be fucking busted. It would still be fucking busted. Instant heal is inherently broken. I don't want this to make it in the game. Insta heal is busted, and to give survivors more access to insta heal via a perk. What the hell is wrong with you? We just fixed this. We just fixed this. So basically, the only buff that killers have gotten in the past 7 months has been negated because everyone's gonna just run this garbage. So great. I don't think it's necessarily going to be meta, because I think the meta build is pretty clear. Decisive Strike, Dead Hard, Borrowed Time, and Adrenaline. I think that's still going to be the meta, but this is at least a high tier perk. This is going to see some play. It's instant heal. This is probably the best anti-slugging perk in the fucking game. It's garbage. This is garbage. Okay, so it's like, okay, well now we have to think about stuff that counters it. Okay, Legion's Broken Pin could counter it, Plague could counter it, I guess. You really have to keep them injured if you want this to negate this perk. So at least we have some counterplay, but it's still instant heal. This is a brutal endgame perk. That's what survivors don't understand about this. This is a brutal endgame perk. If you're trying to maybe get one guy, you could just fucking spring this and then body block, and then you have to switch targets if you want to down somebody without NOED. I guess NOED would counter it. But all this was applicable to the old insta heal as well, and that was still busted. I don't like this. Why did we do this? This game is not in a good enough state for insta heal to come back. How is nobody fucking fuming about this but me? That's gonna be hell. That's gonna be hell to deal with. Say goodbye to slugging, killers. Because now you might not even have to get to fucking use your Unbreakable ever. Just imagine SWF running 2 of these and then 2 Unbreakables. Like they give Fool the People to their good kiters and then Unbreakable to their bad kiters. Boom, easy. Like that's easy. That's two free pickups. And like even that, this isn't a once per game clause either. There's no hard once per game clause on this. This could be a hard once per game clause with the broken status effect being applied to the survivor the rest of the fucking match, and it would still see play. It would still see play. This insta-heal is an embarrassment to Dead by Daylight. It's a relic of the past that should stay in the past. Why are we bringing it back? Why are we bringing insta-heal back? That's what I want to know. That's garbage. That's garbage. It's gonna be hell to deal with. Oh, hi. I'm bitching. I know you're shocked. I'm bitching because we decided bringing insta-heal back was something we could do for a survivor perk. No one's bitching about this but me, my friend. Let's bring insta-heal back on a chapter with a killer that's fucking dog shit. Let's bring insta-heal back. The gens still fly at 90 miles an hour. Let's let insta-heal come back. Absolutely. Absolutely. He's up there. He's up there, dude. At least Clown can anti-loop sometimes. He can't really do that. 110 movement speed. 110 movement speed on a shit tier version of Huntress. This guy needs a... Oh yeah, his perks are garbage. His perks are garbage. I went through his perks already. There's like two of them might be a gimmick at best. His second perk is terrible. The first one is like too slow to do anything. Why would you run it over Discordance? And then his Hex is garbage too. Like, so yeah, yeah, did you expect anything else from Behavior? I didn't expect. Hey! He's probably the worst killer in the game, right? Behavior probably really likes where he's at. They play like, man, this is good. Everyone's survivors are having fun playing against this guy. We did really good. No, you didn't do good. There was no good job done here. Behavior, horrible, awful, embarrassing. He has no gem pressure, no map presence, nothing. This guy is garbage. Which is, again, a shame, because he's cool as fuck. Oh yeah, the survivor perks are... The first one's not that great. The first one isn't that great. And I don't think Red Herring is... I think Red Herring sounds good on paper, but I think there's a lot of counters to it. That insta-heal one, though, is unacceptable. That insta-heal one is unacceptable. That should not be in the game. That needs... like, honestly, like, how do you nerf that? You can't! If you give survivors access to insta-heal, it will still be a good perk, no matter what the drawback is. That could say be broken the rest of the game, and it would still be broken. You could be broken the rest of the game, that'd still be a busted perk that would see tons of play. That drawback for that effect is not good enough. I say this about survivor perks literally all the time. They get busted effects for no cost. Being broken, like, think about this. If there's 4 generators done and you insta-heal somebody and then get down, big whipty fucking shit. Big whipty fucking shit. Chances are your friend has borrow time and then you can cheese a second hit out anyway. Like, big whip. It doesn't do anything. 1 down when 4 gens is done doesn't mean shit. So, like, huge anti-momentum. Yeah, that's what it does. It basically ensures that she'll get out. Even then, it counters slugging too, which is another thing killers need right now. It's super lame, but like, killers really desperately need it right now. At least Unbreakable is slow, so you get to have some slug time, and then Unbreakable can only be used once a game. How come Unbreakable has a once a game clause and this doesn't? This perk is better than Unbreakable. So, this perk is going to continue to add to the destruction of Dead by Daylight if it gets into the game. Which it will. Behavior probably really likes it. Any perk that kills their game, they really like. And the killer sucks, so but that's great. I knew that was gonna I knew that was gonna happen. The killer's trash. So the killers once again get nothing. Survivors once again get at least 1 busted perk. Red herring is gonna be good if it counters the right setup. If you're not running any tracking, red herring is gonna be annoying as fuck. It's dumb. But like again, there's some counters to it. But that insta heal perk can't come to the game. We need to buff the fucking killer. The fucking killer is trash. Like, he's trash. Dog shit. Garbage. Awful. He's dog shit right now. He's not better than Plague. I don't even know if he's better than Pig. Like, he's horrible. Horrible, bruh. So this, so yeah, behavior doesn't know what they're doing, as they clearly said. The Shitslinger, as I will be calling him until he's buffed, is garbage. He's garbage, and he needs buffed. B-U-F-F-E-D, buffed. Just like 16 killers or whatever the number is, something ridiculous. It's like the other fucking 12 killers in the game that need buffs. But no, that's alright. Let's just throw insta-heal back. It'll be the same experience. Yeah, why would you... he is the Huntress Bubba. But yeah, he is... like, Leatherface can kill you if you get in the basement. What can this guy do? At least Leatherface can kill you if you're in the basement. And if you be... at least Leatherface can punish over altruism. Like, if you try to insta-heal Leatherface after you get off the hook, Leatherface will down both your asses. What is this guy gonna do? This guy gets cucked by survivors. This guy gets super massively cucked. Embarrassing. Embarrassing that you design a killer like this. And especially at this state in the game. That's the most embarrassing thing of all. Killers desperately need help right now. Desperately. And speaking of disappointments, let's talk about the breakable wall feature. Let's talk about that. Speaking of huge disappointments. But like, it didn't do anything. It didn't do anything. They put one at the shack, which I voiced my opinion against doing that. Because I don't think killers need it at the shack. The shack is like a healthy location. Wait, oh, I saw no breakable windows. This mechanic only works if you can break down windows and turn them into doorways. I saw 0 breakable windows at that new map. Which now that I think about it, did they even announce that they were doing windows? I thought they did, but let me check. Let me fact check it. Dead by Daylight. Well, I'm trying to find that February update. February update. No windows? I thought it was. I thought they said that they were gonna do windows. I'm trying to find that stupid developer update. Okay, here we go. Okay, hold on. Where is it? Oh yeah, the sabotage stuff is good. The sabotage stuff is good too, by the way. So like the survivors got that to work with again. Great! Yeah, it doesn't actually say windows, it just says it'll make a strong window loop leaker. It should turn the windows into doorways. You should be able to break the windows. Oh well. So it's not as good as I thought it was ever gonna be, so that was a big deal though. Big deal. If you can't destroy the windows at the start board, it's not. They still have a window. It's not gonna work. Okay, so like basically everything about the chapter is a huge disappointment so far. Survivors got insanely buffed. Killers got nothing. Debatably got nerfed again. Like, I can't believe we were giving the middle finger to killer players again. Again, we get nothing. Nothing. What, you know what perk we needed this chapter? We needed a perk to slow the fucking gens in the early game. That's what we needed. Until we get that, we're still in a pit of hell. Especially on this guy. You think, like seriously, the early game has never been as bad as it is right now, and you're gonna give the new killer 110 movement speed. The breakable walls are trash, dude. They're not good. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Gens still fly way too fucking fast. It's not gonna do anything. It's not gonna save the game. You know what? You know what'd be better than having breakable walls? Nerfing the fucking loops. That'd be better than having breakable walls. Nerf the fucking loops so we don't have to go waste time kicking a wall to nerf the loops for you. Nerf the fucking loops. Why give killers something else to do? Seriously, why give killers something else to do? We already don't have time to do the thing we're supposed to do. Why give us something else to do? I don't get it. Yes, it wastes more time. And the gens are still flying at 95 miles an hour. Because they won't do it! They just won't fix it! They won't fix the fucking game! They won't give Killer the buff it needs to be a powerful role! Nerf the fucking generators, for Christ's sake! I'm sick of saying this every fucking time I come on this fucking shit! The generators are too fast! They need to go! Some way, shape, or form, they have got to go! They have got to get toned down! The toolbox nerf didn't do anything, as I predicted! Gens still fly at 95 miles an hour! What? Seriously, they're down from like, what, 110 miles an hour? Not even that. All the toolbox nerf did was take the gens from 105 to 95, and guess what? If I'm a cop and you're going 95 in my 60, I'm still pulling your ass over. You're still speeding, motherfucker. Your ticket just might not be $500. It might be $235. You're still speeding if you're going 95 at a 60. You're still speeding. Yeah, you think, Mr. Blake. You think that's what they do, but behavior's not smart. Not many people are playing Killer anymore because we're sick of getting nerfed for 7 months in a row. And you got people like me who are pissed off about it, so we go on fucking YouTube and scream like lunatics. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And the Shitslinger sucks ass. Of course he sucks ass. He's based off of Identity V's Gamekeeper, the worst killer in the game. Did you really think he was gonna be good? I saw what he did and I'm like, yeah, he's bad. He's bad. Gamekeeper sucks, so he's bad. He's fucking trash. The Shitslinger, bruh. The only thing you can resort to is Impossible Doctor. I mean, he's not. You're making it sound like the Doctor's busted. Nobody's busted. The Doctor's not broken. The Doctor was finally given a decent rework, and he's finally decent. And everyone's crying for his nerf already. Please don't cry for the Doctor's nerf. Doctor's like one of the two things killers have right now. He's actually decent. Oh, guess what? Guess what? You think people are gonna just play the Shitslinger over the Doctor? The Doctor eats the Shitslinger. The Doctor, like, is 5 times better than the Shitslinger. Because the Doctor can actually fucking do shit. The Doctor's madness is like actually good for stalling the match now, and it's how easy it is to get, and his animations look smooth. Like the Shitslinger just looks rough to play. When you're watching him go, watching him move, and then watching the people, he just looks rough. Like, you could tell they wanted to do a gun character, but were too afraid that he'd be busted. Behavior, why not? Why not give us a killer that's really fucking good? Ugh. Like, I would love it if they made the Shitslinger come out and he was by far the best killer in the game. I would love that. I would love that. Get a new fresh face at the top of the tier list, and then here's what you do. You don't nerf him. He comes out, he's the best killer in the game, and then you don't nerf him. How about that? Here's what they're gonna do. They're probably gonna give him, like, maybe 1 or 2 buffs before they put him in the fucking PTB, and then you fucking and then they're gonna nerf him like 2 weeks after the game comes out. Huntress Lullaby. Bruh, like those aren't very good. Like seriously, here's what you do. Here's what you do on Doctor. Here's what you do on Doctor. What do I have on Doctor right now? I forget. I just want to look at my perks. Set a calm add-on. Let me reread those. Yeah. Yeah, calm add-on. And then like, obviously not this shit. Not this shit. This is my fucking build. A Dying Light 3 on Doctor. Doctor's lethal enough now. I think Doctor can pull off a Dying Light. Or a Thana. Doctor could pull off Thana because if they're in tier 3, they can't heal. So healing would be super delayed. So like, you get rid of Hex Ruin and put Thana in there. And then fucking, they get Pop Goes the Weasel. Get rid of Overcharge for Pop Goes the Weasel. But yeah, you gotta slow it, and then I keep Noed on because Noed is a necessary perk right now. So Noed, Sloppy, Thana, Pop. That's my Doctor build. Notice it's all fucking slowdown because that's what you need. That's what you need if you're gonna play this game. And then Noed. 3 slowdown perks and then Noed for when your slowdown doesn't work because the Jeds fly too fast. Doctor doesn't really... The Doctor can get away with no Discordance. But although Discord... You have an argument for Discordance. Do you have an argument for Discordance on everybody? Yeah, to maybe take out Noed for Discordance. Survivors can't do the skill checks because they're bad. It has nothing to do with on console. It's just that they're bad. It's just that they're garbage, dude. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Noed's not crutch anymore, my guy. They took Ruin out, so I agreed that Noed was a crutch perk until the Ruin nerf. Once they nerfed Ruin, Noed is no longer crutch. If you don't run Noed, an SWF stomps on you. Like literally, if you don't run Noed, an SWF group beats your fucking ass. Like seriously, I tied a 4-man comm group as Demogorgon the other day. I was so happy about it. Well, yeah. Well, you know what I don't like? I don't like Dead Hard and Decisive Strike. I don't like borrowed time. I don't like 44-second generator times. I don't like the Whoop on Disturbed Ward. I don't like the infinite fence on Haddonfield. I don't like Blood Lodge with every pallet being fucking safe. There's a lot of things I don't like. There's a lot of things I don't like. There's a lot of things. I don't like the fucking tractors on the... I don't like Rotten Fields. I don't like Thompson House. I don't like Rancid Abattoir's God Loop. I don't like the Ironworks of Misery God Loop. I don't like the fucking... I don't like the fucking God Loop on Suffocation Pit. There's a lot of fucking things I don't like in this game. And I'm sick of people not even bringing it up. Like, we're just gonna let survivors just bitch about Noed? Noed, you wanna nerf No One Escapes Death. How about do the fucking totems with inner strength, you fucking clowns? Bitching about Noed. Get real. If Noed is low-key terrible. Noed is low-key terrible. Noed could spawn on 2 totems and it would be balanced. Bullshit. I don't like sprint burst either. I don't like how I find somebody fully subverted and then they sprint burst to a location, and then they're fucking behind something. I don't like that either. There's a lot of things in this game I don't like. I'm not gonna go say hey, sprint burst is crutch. I'm not gonna ever say that because I'd sound like a dumbass. Like I don't know why we let survivors shape the culture of the game. I think that's a big part of it. Survivors completely shape the culture of the fucking game. Completely, absolutely, they fucking shape the culture of the game. Survivors get complete control over the game's culture probably because there's more of them, and that's why you see shit called toxic. No One Escapes Death is toxic. It's toxic. Horrible. Embarrassing. This chapter is behaviors should be ashamed of themselves for what they just put out. Ashamed. Absolutely fucking ashamed. Absolutely awful. And if the insta-heal perk isn't nerfed and the killer isn't buffed, this chapter is gonna be horrible. horrible. And nice breakable walls mechanic, that's not going to impact the game one fucking bit. Because we have something that you could potentially... How about instead... Again, I'll say this. How about instead of breakable walls, you fucking nerf the maps? How about that? Don't give me an option for breakable walls. Nerf the fucking maps. Nerf the locations. Not that fucking hard behavior. God damn. But, you know, whatever. I'm just a salty killer main, right? I'm a baby killer. I'm a baby killer. I'm not a rank. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just a baby killer that sits on the internet and complains too much. No, they haven't. Because whatever, like here's your baseline for healthy perks. If a survivor ever claims it's overpowered, that's the sign that something's healthy. If survivor, like here, like seriously, what if behavior like put out a statement or something? I don't remember when they did this, but they said Myers was the favorite killer to go against. Like, Survivor's favorite killer to go against is Michael Myers. What does that tell you about Michael Myers? What does that tell you? If Survivor... Here's the thing. This game is a survival horror game, right? I'm not saying that that the atmosphere should be completely enthralling, but the point is, if you don't see a specific character and like groan, that means they're not strong enough. If people enjoy playing against Myers, that tells you Myers is bad. That doesn't tell you that you did a good job. That tells you Myers is dog shit and he needs buffed. Because guess what? Myers does need buffed. Myers is... When I'm looking at every character in the game, Michael Myers has the most outdated kit in this game. His kit is the one that has succumbed to the most power creep, and he needs a buff too. Like, see, seriously, Michael Myers has less adaptability than the Wraith. The Wraith has gone up in usage again. The Wraith has adapted to the conditions of the game. The Hillbilly has adapted. The Trapper has adapted. Myers hasn't adapted. Myers hasn't adapted one bit. Tier 1 has got to go on this character. But yeah, survivors do not care about the game's health. Especially if they're rank 15 casuals, which is who we listen to. The game's health is something they don't give a shit about. That's why catering to these guys has always made no sense to me. They don't care about the health of the game. They never have. Why do we listen to them? I don't get it. It's embarrassing. Why do we cater to casuals? I don't, like, why? Why? Identity 5 doesn't cater to casuals. Ugh. Oh, God, dude, my throat hurts. Embarrassing. The game is absolutely embarrassing. 115%. Yeah, tier 1 should be 115% speed. The devs probably haven't ever reached screen rank. I don't think they have. And Trapper does need help setting up against Object. How about this? How about this? This is coming from somebody who runs Object on Survivor. How about Object of Obsession as an unbalanced perk that needs deleted or completely reworked? Object of Obsession just straight up needs a new effect. The one it has right now is too broken. Object of Obsession is broken right now, and I run it, so I can tell you, I'm the survivor that uses their responsibility to tell you that Object of Obsession is a busted perk that needs removed from the game. I run it. You know how much damage I do in solo queue with Object of Obsession? Like, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. This game is not in a good state, and this chapter is going to make it even worse. because it's like you seriously don't see the effect of insta-heal coming back. I don't care what the conditions are. Unless it's Metal Man's shitty activation condition, 3 protection hits, and then you never see it, then you can insta-heal somebody. There you go. A drawback, here's what behavior has taught me. A drawback is never as good as an activation condition. Never! Because an activation condition means you have to do something before the perk happens. With the drawback, the perk gets to go off, the broken effect gets to happen, and then you have to deal with the consequences of it, which in this case is the consequences aren't even anything. With Medal of Man, the consequences weren't anything. The old Medal of Man. Usually with broken perks like this, their drawbacks are garbage, and they don't do anything. It's the same thing here. This perk, if you're going to put another insta-heal clone in the game, it needs like the shittiest activation condition in the world. Like, how about this? You can only use insta-heal when you're healthy after you've been hooked twice. There's a shitty activation condition right there. Still, it would still see play. That would still see play. You would still have an argument for it. It certainly would have a niche instead of being like basic and crutch like this is. But like the fact is that like the fact that you're just giving them insta heal back for free, that's nonsense. Again, you could have the activation condition is they have to have been hooked twice and fully healed up, and then like they had to heal themselves. That's another thing that you do. You have to heal yourself after well, you do second winds. Like the second wind has a harder activation condition than insta heal. What is second wind's activation condition? I have the Stranger Things chapter. Hold on. Second wind has a harder activation condition than the new instant heal. Where's Steve? Second wind. When you have healed the other survivors to the equivalent of 1 health state. That's a better drawback / activation condition than the brand new insta heal, and this perk is garbage. So yeah, there you fucking go on that one, kids. So conclusion, because I'm done, my throat hurts. Conclusion, buff the Shitslinger, don't let this insta-heal perk go in the game, buff the breakable walls. The breakable walls aren't doing anything. Like, this chapter has been the definition of useless. The game still problems exist, nerf the fucking generators. This has done nothing for anybody. This has done nothing for anybody but survivors who get insta-heal back. Which again, yeah, survivors really needed that buff. Survivors really needed that buff. Ridiculous. I'm done here. My throat hurts.